Let's talk about forging Damascus billets square under the press. So typically with Damascus billets, you're forging just from two sides and occasionally cleaning up. All presses have a propensity to roll one way or the other. Ours rolls right or counterclockwise. This means that the balance point will be more or less in the center of the dies, possibly a little bit to the left. But if you move your material to the right, you'll start to notice that it will actually roll in a counterclockwise direction, rolling off to the left, like that. You can, of course, correct for that, but if you stay to the right and you continue to flip just one 180-degree rotation at a time, that roll will get even worse as time goes on. With any billet, no matter what your pattern is, you really want to avoid this sort of thing, because it's very hard to make corrections. In the blacksmithing world, we would just break the corners. But with your pattern, it's going to absolutely destroy that pattern if you break those corners. That's why a lot of times, with this type of work, you try as hard as you can to stay directly on center with your billet. And then as you're stepping down, if you're going down a lot, then what you're going to do is you're occasionally going to go into squaring dies to try to make those corrections. So let's say you start out with a 3-inch billet. As you work your way down, you're trying to forge as aggressively as possible, and you might lose a little bit of balance. And as you do, by the time you make it down to about 2 inches, you're going to need a set of registered squaring dies. So as you're working your way down through this billet, employing all the tricks we're going to talk about, right? You're working from one side to the other, you're employing a pattern, but you're going to lose a little bit of balance there. You're going to have to resquare. You're probably going to resquare at 2 inches. You're going to go through and take another heat and draw down even further. And then you're going to resquare at 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. And that's where the squaring dies really come in to be helpful, because they can reset your pattern or reset your square without actually losing your pattern there. So here's where those tricks really come into play, because where you put your material on the dies and when you put it there really makes a big difference. Moving your material to the right will give you a counterclockwise roll in your material. Moving it to the left will give you a clockwise roll in your material. If you start out to the right and you get an overcorrection, then when you're working on the ends of your material, so like working perpendicular to the grain, you want to make sure that you're correcting, in this case for that counterclockwise roll, to help pull it back into place. It's like walking a tightrope the entire way down. As you move your material, every choice that you make will help to keep it square or not. And even in the best of circumstances, you're going to end up needing those squaring dies if you move but so far. So those are a few things to practice. Give it a try, see what you think.